Hi, Tea Society. Welcome back to the Antisocial Planet. Today we are checking out Yeosang's Hug Me cover, and I am super excited for this. I'm a little bit nervous. I have tissues near me because I don't trust the song not to make me cry. Just given the title, I don't know the original, but given the title and the more like somber looking opening scene and me just loading up this video makes me a little bit nervous. Also, it's Yeosang, so like the chances are high anyway. I just feel emotional. But at the same time, I'm super excited because like a whole song of Yeosang vocals? Yes, please. I feel like I'm about to be blessed by an angel. You know what I mean? What did I do to deserve such a blessing put upon me? So I'm both a lot of feelings already going into this, but a whole song of Yeosang, it's too good. This makes me nervous. This feels like we're gonna be in our feelings. So I need him to not cry. It's gonna take me out. Okay. A tiny window in the back. I know that's not the point.
서러운 마음을 못 이겨 잠 못 들던 어두운 밤을 더 견디고 내 절망과 상관없이 무심하게도 아침은 날 깨우네.
Hang on. I can't be emotional 30 seconds in. His voice, which is just so gorgeous. I love his darker tone. I love a dark tone in general. Like literally check out any music reaction on my channel. And literally anytime there's a darker tone from literally anyone, it snatches my heart. But I think that it fits so well with something like a ballad. It pulls you in. He's got like a breathy, soft tone to it. Just for personal reasons, I'm gonna start it again from the beginning. Don't judge me. I'm gonna be living here for a second, okay?
서러운 마음을 못 이겨 잠 못 들던 어두운 밤을 더 견디고 내 절망과 상관없이 무심하게도 아침은 날 깨우네. 상처는 생각보다 쓰리고
That note.
아픔은 생각보다 깊어가 날 원망하던 수많은 밤이 내겐 지옥 같아.
I mean, that little, I don't know, the melody shift there, because we had the melody like going up at the end of the lines and then it shifts down, but then also just like him hitting like the bottom part of his range. Gorgeous. And it's like a little bit of a gut punch, right? Because it like hitting that bottom range, it gets a little bit airier. So it just feels, it has like less, I don't know, stability to it. It's less solid. And I feel like with an emotional song like this, ballad, also shout out to us getting English captions on this and other captions on this video. Thank you. How often does that happen? But with the emotional depth of this song, I think that having the end of the line just have this really like breathy, almost like surrender in the sound of his voice is just gorgeous. Beautiful performance. I need him to not make me cry though. I'm trying to concentrate on like the technicalities of how he's singing, partly because I've been given the opportunity and the blessing, but also because if I focus on what he's singing about and looking at his face, I'm gonna start crying. I'm gonna be upset. I'm like only not even a minute in though, so we'll see how long I hold out. Hang on, I didn't go back far enough to hear the part I want.
상처는 생각보다 쓰리고 아픔은 생각보다 깊어가
It's got a little vibrato in it too.
날 원망하던 수많은 밤이 내겐 지옥 같아.
Like it's such a warm tone. Beautiful.
내 곁에 있어줘 내게 머물러줘 네 손을 잡은 날 놓치지 말아줘 이렇게 네가 한 걸음 멀어지면 내가 한 걸음 더 가면 되잖아.
Dang it! Hang on! I'm fine. I'm fine. Look, it's because when getting him into that more chest voice, right? Like he's in a little bit of a higher range for him. He's getting a little bit more projection to his voice. But there's this slight little like break in his voice, this like residue of him like tightening up his vocal cords that's like a mistake, I guess, if we're going to like the technicalities, if you're trying to be like what the technique is for singing, right? It's technically not supposed to be there, but the fact that it's there is like, one, it shows how close up to the mic he is, which just adds like a certain like vulnerability to the overall sound of the song. And two, it also is like his voice breaking while he's singing. It hit me directly in my feelings, and then like the tears started. I was like, oh no, because it's a remnant of how he's tightening up those vocal cords. You can hear how, I guess it's like his vocal cords kind of like rubbing together a little bit because he's still like pushing air in at the end of these phrases. So it just adds this little, I don't know, break or like residue, almost vocal fry, almost like effect that's just there as he's like letting the air continue after he's done the phrase. And it just hits. I'm gonna be wrecked after this. Okay, I'm emotionally stable, I swear.
내 곁에 있어줘 내게 머물러줘 네 손을 잡은 날 놓치지 말아줘 이렇게 네가 한 걸음 멀어지면 내가 한 걸음 더 가면 되잖아.
He lightens up the end of that phrase. Gorgeous. It's like a rich tone.
하루에도 수천 번씩 네 모습을 되뇌
Where do we go?
생각했어 내게 했던 모진 말들 그 싸늘한 눈빛 차가운 표정들
There's so much more to the melodies in the second part.
넌 참 예쁜 사람이었잖아 넌 참 예쁜 사람이었잖아
Gorgeous.
제발 내게 이러지 말아줘 넌 날 잘 알잖아
Ugh. I just look, first off, gorgeous like video too with this like soft lighting. It's all in like a darker lighting in general with the rain, but then there are these points of like lighter coloring, like him wearing the white and then having the white curtains, right? So there's a way of making him stand out in these like darker scenes by having him in the white sweater. Just great choice for like design wise. The way that he's playing, like the melodies are like a little bit more playing around. Obviously this is a cover, so I don't know how much of that's in the original and how much that's him bringing it in, but it's just showing a little bit more agility in his voice in the second part. And kind of the shift between when he's going into a bit of the lower range, he's putting a little bit more like vocal fry in. And I know that's not because he needs that. A lot sometimes when people get into the lower part of the range, they need some vocal fry just to keep some closure on their vocal cords. So not to get like way too technical, but there's false vocal cords, there's some muscles on top of your voice box, and that's how you get that vocal fry effect, is you're vibrating those instead of your actual vocal cords. So some people use those when they're getting to a low part of the range so it doesn't get too airy, right? Because you're loosening up your vocal cords a lot to get that deeper sound. But he's not using it because of that, right? He can get into those richer lower tones with a much cleaner sound, but he's bringing it in because it adds some roughness to his voice, right? It adds some emotion to it. It's like when you're getting into an emotional place and you choke up on your words, right? It gets like that kind of like, again, like residue in the voice. Again, it's something that like technically, is it what you're supposed to be doing? No. Does he need to do it? No. But the fact that he's choosing to do it is leaning into the storytelling, right? Like the line of, oh, you know me so well, don't you? And then adding in some of that like roughness to his voice is the loss of someone, right? Like this whole song is about like losing someone, not having them in your life anymore, and wanting to go back to a point in which you did have them with you, right? And it's, oh, you knew me so well, right? You know me, and wanting that kind of understanding from someone, right? Like I think that we all want to be understood. So having that like emotion with the roughness of his voice works so well with that narrative. Just gorgeous all around. I love his voice so much. It fits so beautifully into a song like this too, where it just like, pulls you in to the closeness of what you need for a vulnerable song like this, right? Like a ballad like this, which is digging into some of those raw emotions. I feel like his voice just works so well for that because it pulls you towards him. And I think that it just fits beautifully into something like this.
제발 내게 이러지 말아줘 넌 날 잘 알잖아 내 곁에 있어줘 내게 머물러줘 네 손을 잡은 날 놓치지 말아줘 이렇게 네가 한 걸음 멀어
gorgeous. Listen how beautiful that upper note is and the little vibrato he has at the end. Like the swell of that. I'm gonna get emotional just by how beautiful that note is. Hang on. Like it's such a clear note too. Beautiful placement. I have such a mixture of feelings because on the one hand, I'm so happy to get a song where I can just listen to his vocals and see all the different like tones and textures and like techniques that he brings into the way that he's communicating a story. And I'm also distraught because who is making you feel this way and how do I fight them? I'm also like extremely protective, even though I know that this is like a song that he's covering. But still, if anyone hurt you, point me in the direction, okay? You can't pick fights, but I can, okay? I'm not an idol. I'll do it. I need to take a second. I just need to like center myself. It's fine.
네 손을 잡은 날 놓치지 말아줘 이렇게 네가 한 걸음 멀어지면 내가 한 걸음 더 가면 되잖아 내겐 내가 없어 난 자신이 없어 네가 없는 하루
Don't do that to me.
견딜 수가 없어 이제 뭘 어떻게 해야 할지 모르겠어 네가 없는 날
Oh, we're going back for all of that. Because what do you mean? What do you mean you're going to flip up into that like falsetto where he lightens up the sound and then he's going to just go into a belt, which is so gorgeous. There's something about, I guess because he has a bit of a lower voice box placement, right? It's how you get a bit of a darker sound is he tends to lower his voice box. And when you get into that belting, it's like a little bit leaning into some like the kind of classical sound, right? Like it's a little bit operatic, not entirely, but it has that like tone to it because that's part of how you get that sound is how you're lowering your voice box and using the extra space as to like resonate, right? Giving yourself that space to like really have the sound kind of echo through, right? He has like a similar tone when he does that. And it's just gorgeous, especially in a ballad, right? To have a little bit of a classical leaning sound just fits so well into a ballad because it has kind of that emotional driven, story driven sound that I think just fits so well. And there's this kind of desperation in it, right? Given the lyrics, it's like calling out to someone. So it makes sense to have that push in the sound because it's like wanting desperately to keep this person, right? And wanting to call out to them so that they stay with you. It fits so well with the lyrical content. I'm so happy that I have lyrics on this because a lot of time when I'm doing covers, I'm like, I don't know. I just have a basic gist of what this might be about. And I'm sorry that I cannot dig more into like why we're making specific decisions in the vocal melody. So I appreciate that I could actually link those together, especially with something like a ballad where usually a lot of what we're choosing to do with our voice is because we're trying to tell a specific story. So just so beautiful and like rich and he's such a good singer.
내겐 내가 없어 난 자신이 없어 네가 없는 하루 견딜 수가 없어
Like the vulnerability of that sound.
이제 뭘 어떻게 해야 할지 모르겠어 네가 없는 날
Beautiful note. Just the pianos after too, to like let it have its impact.
그냥 날 안아줘 나를 좀 안아줘 아무 말 말고서 내게 달려와줘 외롭고 불안하기만 한 마음으로 이렇게 널 기다리고 있잖아
Oh, sorry not to interrupt you again, sweetie pie, but I'm crying again. Because he lightened up his sound. I love that we got that like belting note. The pianos give it a chance to just like breathe, have its impact. And then when he comes back, it's a much lighter sound, more like vulnerability, right? After that swelling of emotion, almost like this breaking point of desperation. And then you have this like quieter, more vulnerable sound. It's just like this, again, that little bit of residue that he's putting into his voice. That's like this like cracking, breaking of the way that the air is continuing to flow after he's done certain phrases. Just hits. It's just hitting me directly in my heart every single time he does it, and I'm emotional. The pianos are also beautiful. I don't even know where I want to go back to. I just know that I want to stay here for a bit, okay?
그냥 날 안아줘 나를 좀 안아줘 아무 말 말고서 내게 달려와줘 외롭고 불안하기만 한 맘으로 이렇게 널 기다리고 있잖아 난 너를 사랑해 난 너를 사랑해 긴 침묵 속에서 소리내 외칠게 어리석고 나약하기만 한 내 마음을
Just gonna leave me there. And we're back to where we started in the video. I mean, just for personal reasons, we're gonna listen to that again. We're gonna listen to that again. Because, dang, I like the part where he's saying, like, the I love you, we have the two back to back. He does them differently. And I think that goes to what I was talking about. Like, there's different residue that he's putting in. Like, there's more where it's like almost this breaking, right? Which is like the air kind of moving through his vocal cords when he hasn't like fully released them yet because he's in the higher part of his range. So he's tightening up those vocal cords a little bit. So when he loosens them again, he doesn't like quite stop like pushing air out before he loosens them fully. So you get a little bit of residue. And then there's another where when he's getting to a bit of a belting zone, because you have to tighten your vocal cords in a specific way to get that powerful sound, it's almost like this little bit of, I don't know, like a growl sound. Like it's a bit of a rougher sound. It's not like quite a growl, but like it's a rougher sound to it. And I think that it also fits so well into the song of this huge belt of emotion, this breaking point, right, of emotion. And then you get this almost like angry sound, because I feel like anger comes out when we're hurt, right? Anger is a defense mechanism. So it fits into it too. Like it's just like this rough hurt sound that is mixed into it. And it's so beautifully done. And it's just, I can't tell if it's like an intentional thing or it is just how he uses his voice. I can't tell. But also he has beautiful notes because he's like pushing them very forward at certain points. There's very like clear notes that he's hitting, but he doesn't tend to mask them, which means like use like your nasal resonance. He's really letting that lowered voice box give him the resonance that he needs through like his mouth, as opposed to like digging in to his nasal cavity for that resonance. And it's just a gorgeous sound for a song like this. Ugh. I don't even know where I want to go back to. I just shush. We're just gonna listen to the last minute, okay?
그냥 날 안아줘 나를 좀 안아줘 아무 말 말고서 내게 달려와줘 외롭고 불안하기만 한 맘으로 이렇게 널 기다리고 있잖아 난 너를 사랑해 난 너를 사랑해 긴 침묵 속에서
That was beautiful.
소리내 외칠게 어리석고 나약하기만 한 내 마음을
And like I love that the vocal melody like doesn't conclude too. Like it feels like there need to be more lines and there just aren't. And I think that that's, again, like I'm assuming part of the original, right? We're covering. So, but I think that's such a beautiful and sad thing to bring into a song like this, where it's like when you lose someone for whatever that may be, in whatever context that might be, of like wanting to keep someone with you, and you're struggling to come to terms with the fact that you don't have them in your life anymore. It doesn't have a firm conclusion, right? This song is about being stuck in that middle point of when you were happy with that person and when you're like happy without that person, and being stuck in that awful middle section of, can I fix this and just go back and pretend that this awful thing hasn't happened? And having the vocal melody feel like there needs to be more story, needs to be more to it. There isn't, it just ends. Also is part of that too, is you can't just like keep holding on to it. You can't just keep the story going because you want it to, right? Sometimes you have to let things go. Gorgeous song and just a beautiful performance from him. Like I think that this song fits his voice so beautifully, and He did so many wonderful things with his voice in it, like tones that I haven't heard from him yet. Obviously, I still have like a lot of stuff to catch up on with ateez discography, but just beautiful and heartbreaking. And the things that he chose to put into his voice for this, so perfectly chosen. Just a beautiful song. No, I totally understand why so many of you were like, you have to listen to this. Like, it was non-negotiable. You're like, the number of people who were like, oh, if you love Yeosang's voice, have to. A required listen. And I totally get that. Gorgeous song, just in general. I think I can understand like why he would choose a song like that. It's such a gorgeous song in and of itself, but he did such a wonderful job with it. Like his voice fits this so well. I think that he did so many things in it, like I was saying, that are just beautiful for the storytelling and the emotion that he was able to put into his voice. You really need for a song like this, right? Like you have to sell the emotion behind it, and just these little moments of bringing that hurt into the song in like the way that his voice was being used just sold it so much. Like the fact that I was tearing up 30 seconds in shows how well he performed the song. And just beautiful too, and like simple video of just like the isolation and the kind of like desaturated world that you live in when you're dealing with losing something. Yeah, I don't even know what else to say other than being like a little bit speechless. There are some moments in that where I'm like, I don't even know how to explain how beautiful that note is because I just want to listen to it. And at least now I can listen to this as many times as I want. I was trying to rein myself in a little bit for the sake of like brevity, but I'm definitely going to be listening to this again. It's so beautiful. How do I get this song on every playlist that I have, even though it'll make me cry, just so I can listen to it? I'm going to be a little obsessed with it, but I hope you enjoyed listening to that along with me. You can click those playlist to go to my previous reactions, or you can subscribe so next time I post an ateez reaction. I will see you in the next video. Bye.